I'm going to get a little bit of behind-the-scenes footage here. So, and
We'll get some.
here's Doppler Dave. My very first interview. This visit to Amarillo, very, very fun. And I was just telling Doppler Dave that this is where I take the Freddie the Fireman show right here, and became a big TV star at the age of 6.
Very good. Well, good job.
Filled with a series of unexpected developments, the musician and songwriter found himself in Los Angeles and London, becoming friends with the likes of Sir Paul McCartney and Elton John.
In time, his own music was created and recorded and recently returned here to Amarillo, his hometown, to promote a book that includes his memories.
We have his incredible story and good news with Doppler Dave.
Hey,
Is that Dave?
Dave Oliver.
How are you, Dave? Pleasure.
Welcome.
I recently met songwriter, musician, and now author Jim Wilson, an Amarillo native.
I was raised here in Amarillo and Olson Park, but my first time was when I was 6 years old. You guys had a program called Freddie the Fireman. Trust me, you don't remember this.
After a quick tour, I asked Jim about Amarillo memories.
Here's Doppler Dave, my very first interview, this visit to Amarillo. Honestly, Dave, one of my favorite things about Amarillo that I miss that we don't get in LA is the big thunderclouds, those massive cumulonimbus clouds, and I just have such fond memories of the big storms. And
As he mentions in his new book, along with the task of conquering stage fright, there were other storms of life that he had to overcome along his career journey.
well, I think my whole music career was sort of born out of that kind of strife. I came from a broken home. You know, my brother dying of a heroin overdose at the age of 23 was a brutal left hook. But it took the death of a friend of mine, my close friend Claude, who died of a heart attack at the age of 37. That was the thing that just grabbed me by the shirt collar and said, listen, you idiot, you do not have a limitless reservoir of tomorrows, so get on with it.
Which is exactly what he did as piano tuning began opening doors.
Spot for these mics. You ready to go?
I am.
You're ready, I'm ready. Jim Wilson, welcome to the Hey Amarillo podcast. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's my honor to have you. I'm glad we were.
Now, are you just concerned
Getting set up here and Panhandle PBS. There's Karen about to hit me with a bunch of gotcha questions, man.
I'm grilling you, yeah.
Oh man, here we go. There's Kevin over there, Julie. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Facebook Live, 10,000 people watching.
Tuned in, Memoirs of a Piano Man, the autobiography of Amarillo native Jim Wilson, who shares stories about his time as a composer, musician, and now author. He's seen and done just about everything. Jim, we are so glad that you are here today to share some of these wonderful stories. And I made a wonderful connection. I knew your mom. You said your name just...
Yeah. Okay. Ricky?
Do the caramel once?
Okay. You're on your second cup of coffee. I'm still on my face.
Listen, I'm on my 10th.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for
Appreciate
having
you
me.
coming.
I hope that was a fun little spot, and we got all the bases covered. That was great.
I know, I was
That's
like, I didn't
fine.
really know how the rundown is going now, so I just did a generic toss.
We're just, yeah, we're
And it's Jim Wilson.
that picture too.
It's on video now, so.
We'll take a still.
Yeah, I'm going to send it to her. She's here at next Texas 95.7, the Armadillo. Greg Vaughn with you in the studio. Got a special guest in here with me, Jim Wilson. Jim Wilson, not a country star. You're like one of the few once in a while I get to interview somebody who's not in the country world.
Well, I did write a couple of country songs.
Did you?
Back in just I took my a shot at it. Actually, there's a story in my book about playing Dan Fogelberg a song, and I'm here for the Friends of Fogelberg concert, which is going on Friday, and but there's a story I tell in there about befriending Dan Fogelberg and early on in the relationship, I ultimately go to his home or studio like a half a dozen times, but I tell the story of playing him a pop song, this kind of pop country song. It's all wrong, but it's all right. This is back when I fancied myself as a writer. I wanted to get the next big pop song, and Dan he stopped about halfway through. He handed me back my Walkman. He goes, "Sounds very LA." Ouch. And he was right.
Which is not like a total insult, but it wasn't him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was absolutely right. It was this soulless, formulaic attempt at a pop song.
You should send this to Andy Gibb.
Yeah. Or no one. Maybe he'll not have to see it a lot of day.
Yeah.
And then, which is why it was so gratifying 6 months later when I came back to his place. I thought, I'm going to take another shot. And I was beginning to write a whole nother batch of songs that were just instrumentals that I was writing purely for my own gratification.
Right. Yeah.
And so I started playing something on the piano, and he goes, "What's that?" I was like, "Well, it's just a new thing I'm working on." I'm trying to be real nonchalant.
Yeah.
And he goes, "It's beautiful, play it." So I played the whole thing. He goes, "Oh my God, that's fantastic. Maybe I can write a lyric to it." And I'm thinking, yes.
Yeah. Inside, you got to be like the forward to your book where you're talking about being around, Paul McCartney and everything.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. Trying to play cool, but trying not to be too over cool.
Just trying to be present.
Yeah.
And,
Hour, we've got more music on the way. I had a request for some Gary Stewart, so we're going to do that. I've also got some John Coltrane coming up and Grateful Dead. Then we are going to chat with Jim Wilson, an Amarillo native who's going to be in town tonight for the Friends of Fogelberg concert, and he's got a book signing happening tomorrow. The Amarillo Globe News Center. What was your connection with him? How did you end up doing anything with Dan Fogelberg?
Well, I guess we should back up a tiny bit first and just say I learned piano tuning as a means to support myself in Los Angeles. So when I moved to Los Angeles, I was going to have this skill to tune pianos and support myself, and that worked out actually quite well. And
on your hometown boy, Mr. Jim Wilson.
you guys smile and wave. We're not okay.
Hi, I'm Sharon Cost. I met you at the mall. I bought all of your music. I fell in love with it. I teach ballet, and I taught so many beautiful dances to my students using your music. You inspired my life. Thank you so much.
My name's Steve Koss. I'm a professor of art at Amarillo College, and I very often have my art classes, my painting and drawing class students working with synesthesia to interpret their art through your music that I play in the classroom. So I may owe you some money for that. But they love the music and they come up with some beautiful artwork from it.
Okay, Lisa Collins. I met Jim at the mall originally when he used to perform out there, and then we were part of his group, the first concert at the Amarillo Globe Center. So he's awesome, and we love him, and all of his songs are amazing.
Wow, I'm Kurt Sinclair, local Amarillo boy. Have to support a local Amarillo guy that's done real well that we're very proud of. Heard this guy was playing at Westgate Mall and had to go see him. So my girlfriend and my best friend Gail drug me out to the mall, and was so glad that Jim opened the Globe News Center. It was a fantastic concert with the flautists and the sopranos. Still have very good memories of that.
My name is Gail Malakara, and I was born and raised in Amarillo. And I met Jim Wilson at Westgate Mall with him and his lovely mom, and got to hear his music for the first time, and actually fell apart. It was so beautiful, so heartfelt, and I just instantly fell in love with him. I just thought, man, he's so good, and it really played to my heart.
Debbie Wilson, Martinville. I've known Jim a long time, and I have loved his music forever and ever, and he has a special music that's like no other. And I hope he continues to make his beautiful music and inspire all of us to be our best.
I love his music, his talent. I first listened to Jim whenever he was a youngster, like 13, 14 years old, on the guitar, and fell in love with it then. And then when I found out he was doing this type of music, I have all of his records now, I do believe, and I love all of them.
My name is Charlie Clinton, and I'll tell you this much. First time I heard the music, I was so touched. And I mean it. The music was so different that it also felt like I could connect to it. And it was actually easy. I played by ear, and it was easy to work up. And I thought, this is amazing. And so it has been so inspiring. Since '98, it's just so one of those things that I'm hooked. I really am.